We're again in the rethinking chapter. So what I want you to do is rethink the methodology that you're using to teach leadership and management. I know this is going to be a challenging approach to thinking about how we look at the world, and yet today we're challenged with the fact that globally we're running out of leaders to be able to fill roles as we need them. And that sounds counterintuitive, we have enough people, yet there is a very big shortage. And unless you're the type of person who thinks you can find all the leaders that you need, you're going to have to start growing them. And in this one section, I would like you to get your mind around a different philosophy of transferring information. There's often a belief that if we teach or show somebody what we've done, they're going to learn it well enough to be able to redo it. Now that might work fine if we're fixing a pipe, or we might be drawing something. It's very different when we're teaching someone how to lead and manage. It would be the equivalent of this. Let's say I'm a gardener and I'm going to teach you how to do gardening. I'm going to show you the actions it takes to take care of rose bushes. And you might be able to duplicate them. Yet if you can't figure out why I've done them, what was the rationale behind it, if I don't transfer that to you, you're never going to be able to be a great gardener. And that's a huge difference. We have to get past the point of showing people action, and we've got to start teaching them thinking. And the approach that I would say is we have to separate thought versus action. And they're completely different when it comes to the skill set and tools necessary for someone to be able to thrive and survive and thrive in organizations. Now, let's take an example. Let's say you're about to, let's say you fired somebody last month. And last month was December, and it's only 3 weeks before the end of the year. The guy or the woman is planning a wedding for his family. The guy walks into your room, or the woman walks into your room. You sit down with them, you have the discussion, and everybody sees this, that the person walks out, packs up their desk, and has to leave. Now, to everybody else, you're an ogre. You're a bad person. You have just fired someone just before the holidays. How inconsiderate are you as a leader? Here's a suggestion that I would take or act upon, is after it's done, you bring your team together. You sit them down and say, I can't go into all the details, depending on where you are in the world, because certain places you can share more than others. And you describe to them that while this may appear like it's a snap decision, that I just made this decision, the reality is for over a year, the two of us have been talking. And we've set metrics, KPIs, hasn't hit them. We actually have had 2 disciplinary actions that I can't go into, where there were situations that we haven't been able to get around. This person hasn't been hitting targets. So what I've been doing over the past year is I've been trying to figure out a new approach. We've been looking at other employees to hire. We've been looking at possibly raising some people up within the organization. And see this, what I've got is I've got a plan. I've got a plan on how we're going to pick up the slack and we're going to move forward as an organization. And the reason I say to do it in this manner is what you've just shown people is not what you did, the action, but you showed them the decision making, and you shared with them the series of events that got you there, so that they in turn, when they're making a decision whether to hire or fire or to get rid of a vendor or to keep a vendor, what they've done is they're going to say, why don't we do the same thing? Why don't I do the same thing? Why don't we look at all the steps? Let's see if we've explored all our options. Let's develop a plan that everybody can act accordingly with. And so when it comes out, it's not perceived as incorrect or, again, a snap decision. I can't tell you how many executives I work with where the people around them have believed that they'll say to me, well, this person, they make really quick decisions. I have known people in real estate who've walked up and bought a piece of land for an extremely high value, cost. And people said, see, this person makes a snap decision, but if you actually found out, for 3 years, they were watching that property. They knew the lease was coming up. They knew there was an opportunity to buy. They were drafting plans on the side to create this new building. So that little switch can make a difference. Now, if we were to take a look at a company that we all know, it's a very popular organization, General Electric, during its, I won't say its heyday, in terms of it's never going to come back, but it's had challenges recently in terms of stock market valuation. Jack Welch, who ran that organization, created this educational environment called Crotonville on the Hudson River. And what he would do is he'd bring his top leadership teams together, and Jack would show. And during his time, he would show, and every week, he would give them lessons that he learned. They'd have discussions about how they were addressing challenges that they were facing and how to create opportunities. So he didn't just say, watch what I do. He said to them, let's think this through in a different light. So in this one section, all I'm asking you to do is rethink that this OJT, on-the-job training, having people follow people around, having people see what you do versus what you think, is transformative if you're capable of a leader to slow down enough to take the time to help the people you're working with to make that transition. So this is a game changer for those of you who aren't. For those of you who are, you can accelerate this by really going deeper. And Pay to Think will give you some new tools on how to do that.